Howdy, hello, good afternoon, good evening, good morning. Welcome. Finally, we're doing episode 8. Yeah, it's been a long time coming. A bit of a shift around for the days. We're going to be probably doing this as the regular time and day. It fits in a lot easier for me to write the GeekCast. It was a little bit of a problem when I was trying to write it over weekends. Whereas Wednesdays and Thursdays I always have off, so it gives me that little bit of a easier time frame to squeeze in the writing of the cast. We've got plenty to go through today with having such a scope, and there's a lot that I haven't even covered that's happened, and obviously Gamescom is ongoing at the moment, so we'll probably cover that or a lot of that into next week's show. So if you don't see something, don't worry, I might actually talk about it next week. However, we'll dive over and I shall show you all what we've got coming up. So this week, what 3 words rival is indeed one of those. Gigabyte's exploding PSUs, which I'm sure you might have all heard about. Dr. Disrespect is suing Twitch. How you doing, Annie? Everspace has got the new demo. Yes, it does. Name the game and movie. You know the score on that one. Fortnite has Imposter Syndrome. Destiny 2, The Witch Queen, New World Open Beta, and Call of Duty Vanguard. Now, it's very game focused, admittedly, but obviously at the start, not so much. But yeah, there was so much that I could have covered. You just can't fit it all in, and I suspect I'm going to be talking for quite a few hours anyway, maybe a couple of hours about this with you boys and girls anyway. So, like I said, don't worry if there's something I haven't mentioned. Maybe you haven't seen it, but there's also, like I say, Gamescom going on at the moment. So, yeah, without further ado, we should probably dive in and talk about the first topic of this evening, which is what 3 words rival. Now, some of you might be thinking, what the hell is what 3 words anyway? Basically, it's a new kind of, I won't say Google Maps, but it's a way that you can pinpoint your location anywhere in the UK by 3 words. It's a 3-meter square, and pretty much you can pinpoint your house, for example, and that would be a 3 words, a sequence of words that is unique to that block. Now there is old rubbish game, and that is now the rival. It's a very good one, and I will put the name into the chat right now so you boys and girls can actually see it. And it's actually called Forking Maps. Basically, it's a satirical version of what 3 words, and it's using slightly risque swear words, should we say. If you've not seen it, do go check it out. You can Google that, Forking Maps. So basically, what 3 words uses 3 words to name a 3 by 3 meter square block of part of Great Britain. It doesn't do it worldwide. It's just literally the UK. Now, what Forking Maps does is up the numbers to 4 words, but it uses swear words. So it's quite light-hearted. It's very, very good. If you want to go to the website, do have a look. Have a look. See a landmark. Don't obviously use your house or anything like that, but you know, you can have a look and see what yours comes up with. But you got to do it in the UK, obviously. Remember, it is only for the UK, for Great Britain and Northern Ireland. I think Northern Ireland is included. They have called it Great Britain anyway, but you know. Now, I'm going to give you a couple of examples on this one because I did have a little dabble around, but there is a couple. Now, the House of Commons, which is obviously our Houses of Parliament here in the UK, which is obviously where Boris Johnson, cronies, and all the other politicians sit on a regular basis to discuss what they think is best for the country. Now, the House of Commons is it is called limpdick.hardon.malacca.shitcunt. There we go. Yeah, there we go. So Bal's done rim job, cumfest, headfuck, busty. So if you can look that up on Forking Maps and see what that actually relates to. So if you want to have a look at all these various things, please do. If you want to, I don't know, maybe look at what Edinburgh Castle is or something like that. Now, Buckingham Palace. This one is fetish.porn.shitlicker.dong. is the local station. So do give me more suggestions. They were the two that I looked up because of literally I was just having a little browse around London. No, I'm not from London, obviously, but yeah, 4 King maps. It is quite humorous because I remember it's a 3x3 meter square. I think they use the same system. But what I did to actually pinpoint the place is when you look at the map, there's usually a little like icon or a little marker that shows relative to where the name is. So you literally pinpoint that for what they was thing. Hence why we got the Buckingham Palace and the House of Commons. Now, again, I wouldn't start telling people this this way. Yeah, I don't think they will. Where are you at? To be fair, the RNLI wouldn't be looking for you in the sea, as in these are all on landmark. Yeah, it's not the sea. So yeah, don't expect them to be out as say dipshit, drowning, cunt fit Wazik is not going to be somewhere that they're going to find in the middle of the sea. But yeah, it's a good system because Downing Street is blue waffle butt burp nasty slut strip club, and it checks out. Yeah, probably paid by some Tory donors, to be fair. But yeah, that's a bit of a light-hearted one just to start with, to be fair, because I was quite intrigued. I think I'd seen it on PC Gamer or something like that they'd done a variant of the what 3 words. But it's a good system. If you could, instead of having to give like longitude and latitude of a 3 meter square, if you could work out where you exactly are, if you should maybe get lost or whatever, and you can you know, find pinpoint a map of one of your locations, and you can say, well, I'm at this what 3 words. It's a good way. Now, I don't think we're ever gonna drift away from using longitude and latitude. I think we've been around for yeah, Bal's like, yeah, I'm enjoying this, all these different ones we've found. I don't think we'll be finding Ordnance Survey switching over to the 4 King maps version either, so all very good. But yeah, like I say, it is only available in the UK, so do have a name the landmark. Yeah. Where else could you really look for? Let's have a look at FK's tip bollocks. Yeah. That might not actually come up, to be fair. I mean, it's a combination. You think of the combination, it's, you know, a combination of a lock on a safe, you know, it could be millions of combinations kind of thing. So let's think. So Balth, you can have a look at this since you're obviously already on the website anyway. What is let's do the Angel of the North, the statue, the Angel of the North. Some of you won't know what it is, but it is a very industrial looking statue of a figure with arms that are like an aeroplane, to be basically with a, imagine the Oscars, you know, the statue that they get from the Oscars obviously is gold, but then stick some very square aeroplane wings on the side of it, and it's all like rusted in a bronzy rusty color, and that's what the Angel of the North is. It's the side of the A1 motorway, I think it is, up near Sunderland, around that area. Now that it's quite a magnificent structure, and obviously the Northeast is a very well-known industrial area of the UK, so that would be do you know what would make me laugh if it didn't actually come up? Can you imagine if it didn't actually come up at all? Do that for, oops, hello. Let's find that. Let's just see if we can find it. Whoop, I don't want Islington. Go away. Right, so let's see if we can find it, because it was off the A1, isn't it? Before Newcastle. He's got it. Pooping pussy pounder tub girl. I love how he's not finding it on there. Let's have a look. There we go. Yeah, yes, found it. Yeah, it is the exactly is the Angel of the North. Yep. How you doing there, Fleur? How you doing, Nutley? Good evening. So yeah, I have a look. Literally, it is quite funny just to go on a little browse. It's only in the UK, yeah. It only works in the UK. Yeah, you can't be going off and the map does go all the way to like worldwide, but it doesn't work with the thing. But yeah, Keepy's trying to find Stormont. It is quite funny if you know of a certain point that is. I was looking up Trump Tower. Yeah, you can't find that, unfortunately. Yeah, no. Say what we'll test. Well, we just there you go. I love that one. Just breath, pinhead, milf, boss wanker. Boss wanker. That's Manchester United football ground. Yeah. So that's Old Trafford. Boss wankers. Right. Okay. So you want Blackpool Tower. Blackpool Tower. I found Blackpool. I was trying to find the tower. Where are you? You know, where is the Blackpool Tower? Handjob pig fucker loved you, Jizzcock. Wow. Damn. Oh dear. I'm gonna be here all day trying to find these. Actually cannot find the Blackpool Tower. I'm in Blackpool, but I can't actually find it. To be fair, I must be. Oh, hang on, is that the towers? No, that's the stop. That's not the. Come here. Just, how you doing, Guerrero? How you doing, Guerrero? Indeed. Blackpool's. Is what? Yeah. Yeah, so by all means have a little look for Blackpool Tower, see what you can find on that one, because for some reason I'm not finding it. I don't know why, but anyway, it's in Blackpool somewhere. But yeah, you can pretty much have a good laugh looking around there. 4kingmaps.co.uk. If you want to have a look, it's the expletive version of three words. There you go to there and have a little look. Only works for the UK. But instead of some nice words that you get in the what three words, this one's the slightly expletive version. Oh dear, all good stuff. So right, there we go. Why is that? Let me just refresh that. I'll just come back, chat. There we go. So I can Capping Muncher, indeed. Right, so we'll leave you messing around with that all night. I can imagine you guys have got that open on another tab, just trying to find all these different places. Next up is going to be Gigabyte's exploding PSUs. Now, this has been quite prominent, especially with anybody that's been following Steve at Nexus Gamers. I think he'd heard on the grapevine that things were a bit awry with certain models of Gigabyte's PSUs. Now they seemingly had been bundled in with high-level motherboards and graphics cards just to try and move the stock because they weren't selling. And it's something that a lot of retailers will do. They even do. Yeah, we'll get onto that. I know Jay covered it after the fact. Steve had done a lot of the legwork even with all this, and it's still ongoing what he's doing. And like I say, even in the UK and other countries, not just the US, you will find from time to time that you will get bundled something with another item. Normally, you'll maybe get motherboards with RAM and stuff like that because they're compatible, but graphics cards, and then all of a sudden you're getting a PSU because the stock is not shifting. So what they do is they sell it as a kind of loss, but they put it in with another thing that's maybe making a good amount of money. So, for example, a 3090, the retailer might be making, just for example, an argument's sake, $200 on that item. They then throw in a PSU which they can't shift because it's been sat in inventory for a while. So they take a loss on that. That might have cost them $50 to buy. Retails at maybe $100, but it's $50 to cost. So what they do is they chuck it in with the 3090 and say, there you go, that's a better deal. They might basically stick $50 on it. So that covers the loss, if you know what I mean. And then lo and behold, it gets rid of it. Now, there's two versions of the power supply unit which has been made by Gigabyte, which has come to a head, which are let's just say dubious at best. Now, like I said, they're made by Gigabyte, and I'm going to give you the model numbers just in case you have one. I suspect you won't, but just in case you have, they are the GP-P850GM and the GP-P750GM. Okay, so they're made by Gigabyte. And they're, as I've said, they're the dubious versions. Now, Steve's been doing a lot of testing. He has a guy on his programs. They're always very in depth. So if you're going to listen or watch any of Steve at Gamers Nexus videos, do expect to sometimes be a little bit bored. And I'm not being disparaging to the guy, but he goes so in depth. And on this occasion, it's very, very good that he did. And he has a guy who's presumably an electrician, and he's done a lot of electrical testing for him in the past. He even helped him cover the incident with regards the NZXT PCI Express riser cable, which was shorting because of the design. And he actually proved the way that a screw was cutting through the material and hitting one of the live circuits, which was causing it to catch fire, etc. Same guy, and he's been doing the testing on these. Now, every PSU, even the ones that you've got in your PCs now, has what's called OPP, which is over power protection. So pretty much what will happen is if your PSU draws the power, remember power is not pushed into the power supply unit, the power supply draws the energy from the wall socket, and it basically will pull it in. Now, for whatever reason, if your PSU starts pulling too much power that it's actually rated for, so the PSU internals are rated to a certain wattage, if for some reason it draws too much power, it has this protection, which is a trigger point, and it'll basically go boom, and it'll blow that rather than start popping your internals of your PC, such as graphics cards, motherboards, CPUs, things like that, which you don't want. Obviously, you don't want that at all. Now, they have a percentage increase. So, for example, we'll take this 750 GM. If I remember rightly, it had a trigger point of approximately 1150 watts. Now, you got to remember it's running at 750, or what it should pull maximum is 750 watts. So its overprotection was like 400 watts higher. I think that's the figure that was bandied about. 300 or 400 watts high. So it's nearly 50% more than what it's actually rated to, which is quite a phenomenal amount. Now, if your PSU is a very high rated and has brilliant components in it, then you would have less of an issue with that. However, it's seemingly that these aren't made of the best components. What they were doing is basically they were testing to see what would happen if they drew too much power, and the problem is that they were getting nowhere near these OPP trip points, and they're pretty much just catching fire. They would test them, and then there was only one, I think they said, and they've actually said there was only one point did they actually manage to actually get to the trigger point. It wasn't like when they were testing, they were drawing 1500 watts all the time and causing it to overload. They literally were just testing it with a sustained amount of draw, which a high rig gaming system or high power dependent gaming system would do. My system at peak might pull 700 watts, 700 watts. But if I was running a 3090 or a 3950 or a 5950X or something like that, high wattage CPU rather than GPU, you could quite easily trip that over. So bearing in mind they did this as a consumer thing because he's very consumer focused, is Steve. He likes to think that people are getting good value for the money, and he'll call out bad stuff, and he did this with this. Now, generally you'd think a company would just turn around and say, right, oh, thanks for pointing that out. We appear to have an issue with those, we're going to pull them, etc. No, Gigabyte didn't do that. No. They pretty much turned around and went on the offensive against Steve and said that the testing methodology that Gamers Nexus was using was flawed, as it was testing the PSUs for extended time close to the 120 to 150% OPP trigger point. Now, Steve wasn't very happy about that because he pretty much turned around and said, you're basically twisting the truth. Because they only managed to trigger it once during the whole testing that they'd actually done. So you got to remember that as a 750 power supply, they were pulling maybe 1050, and that was the trigger point. And they only hit that once on one of the units because they had several. It wasn't just one unit that they kept hammering and hammering. They got a lot of people who had these power supply units to send them in to Gamers Nexus and just said, look, you know, test them, you know, it's dead on arrival or whatever. So they were testing them and testing them and testing them, and like I say, only once did they ever get to that point. So for Gigabyte to turn around and say that the methodology was wrong was pretty much just Gigabyte being dicks, because they were saying that no, that's what happened. Now, Gigabyte then turned around and said, as Keep had already mentioned, that they later dropped the trigger point down from 150 down to 120%. So basically, it can still go up to maybe 950 watts instead of the 1100 watts of until it hits the trigger point, which is still quite a significant amount. But they were still catching fire just under normal load. So like I say, if you put one of those in your system, you've got a high rig, you think, okay, it's an 850 or a 750 watt, it should suffice, I'm not going to have any problem. Then lo and behold, you have a gaming session where you're maybe streaming, your GPU's pulling a lot of power, your CPU maybe crunching the numbers when you're encoding your stream, your RAM's pulling power because you've slightly overclocked it, your CPU's overclocked. You know, you can see how it's going to start pulling a lot of power. All of a sudden, that's crept past the maximum amount of 750. It's going up to the trigger point of 850, but it's already gone bang. And they did lose a 3080, did Steve, at Gamers Nexus in his testing. So brand new, well, say brand new, new to the world as such, 3080. Now, they cannot identify for definite whether it happened because of the PSU, but it's highly likely that it is the PSU that's caused it, because obviously it's connected directly to the motherboard and the GPU. Anyway, what Gigabyte then said was that they are going to do a return and exchange service for the GP850GM and the GP750GM. And the details are on the website. You send it back to them and you'll exchange it. But they will only exchange it for the same model. Now, why? And I'm sure everybody here will agree. Why would you want the same model back that's just gone either bang or it's dead on arrival? Because a lot of people have had PSUs that have just arrived dead. They won't work. They put them in the machine, plugged in the power supply cable, connected it up to the mains, turned it on, nothing. It's dead, even at manufacture. So there's seemingly an issue, and maybe they've known about this issue and they haven't been able to, you know, do anything about with shifting the stock. So Gigabyte are not coming off very well over this, and to be fair, I can see why Steve has been a bit, you know, voracious as going after them because of their response. And other people such as Linus and such as JZ2 they've picked up on it and they've been like lambasting Gigabyte as well. And pretty much it's a case of they really need to have a good look at what they're doing, because I think companies of late are getting caught out. It's very quick, is the world of social media, when they pick up on something that it can escape basically keeping things under control. You know, as soon as some bad press gets out, boom, it's all over the internet, and it's very much a problem for anybody working in the PR departments to try and douse that fire, because it can spread very, very quickly. And I think Gigabyte have let this one go, and then they've thrown fuel onto the fire. Yeah, Keepy, Linus had done it in one of his podcasts. He'd been mentioning about it as well. And yeah, the other point that Keepy just put up, the Gigabyte did have a data breach fairly recently, and and a lot of data has been taken. A few servers had to be taken offline. One of which they think is to do with the RMAs. So if anybody's got an ongoing RMA, and this was what Jay-Z had said, not Steve at Gamers Nexus, was that if you have an existing RMA in process, Gigabyte won't have a clue, because they haven't got the data, they haven't got the servers. Now, whether they're running any backups, which you hope to fuck they have, that pretty much Gigabyte won't know that there's an RMA in process. It'd be then up to the end user, i.e. you and me, if we were sending one back, to basically confirm that it was inbound, and proof of logs of emails and stuff like that. So at the moment, it's not going well for Gigabyte. Now, I am going to play devil's advocate a little bit here. I know Keeper, you said at the start, it's a disaster for Gigabyte as far as I'm concerned. I wouldn't buy them in the future. Now, I will say that I wouldn't buy PSUs from them, and I never would, to be fair. I've had Corsair, I've got a Fractal Design one in at the moment. Before that, I had Seasonic. Always usually good high end, because if it's one thing I'll say to anybody that's going to build a PC, always do not ever skimp on the PSU. You might think, oh, that's 1,000 watts, and then you see it for 50 quid, and then you see another one that's 1,000 watts that's 100 quid. And you think, well, I'm going to go for that one. That's half the price of that one. But you might find the one that's 50 quid is crappier components. It won't be as efficiently rated, and you might be asking for trouble down the line. Again, yeah, modular cables as well is always an option. Very handy if you don't have to have everything connected, whereas some of the cheaper PSUs are all hardwired in and they're not any connected. So do not ever skimp on your PSU. And that is across the board. If you need a 750 or an 850 or 1,000 watts, or however much you do, always get a decent branded one. The graphics as well as PSU, because Steve wasn't sure where the problem they lay, and if the GPU PSU. Surely I'll ask how power management on the motherboard is handled. Now, Keeping, this is where I'm going to play devil's advocate on that, because I've had currently I'm running the Gigabyte motherboard. My previous computer, Gigabyte motherboard, I've run a 980 Ti Gigabyte. My current 2080 Ti is a Gigabyte. Magic's 3070 is a Gigabyte. Never had a problem. So whilst they may manufacture their own GPUs and motherboards, I'm expecting that they are outsourcing the PSUs, and they are fully on top of everything. It's a bit like NZXT. They had an outside company manufacturing their PCI Express risers, and they weren't on top of it in regards of how well they were made. So I think to totally boycott a company, yes, you could do that. That's a choice that every consumer has to make, and this isn't just in the world of computer components or anything like that. It's along the lines of if you think Tesco's are shit and you've been buying their stuff, you go somewhere else. You go to Waitrose, or you go to Morrison's, or you go to Lidl, or Aldi, or somewhere, anywhere else. You vote with your wallet. Now, a lot of these people who've had the PSUs blown up, they're not going to touch Gigabyte ever again, and quite rightly so. Now, I've never had a problem, but then you've got to do a bit of market research. Is it just the PSUs? Are they made elsewhere? Are they made by a company that's just using the branding, and Gigabyte is saying, right, make a $50 PSU, but we're going to pay you $20 for making it, and then we're going to make the rest on it. Subcontracted, they're going to make it. Who knows? I don't actually know, but definitely those two models of PSU have come to the fore of being problematic. Other ones will be absolutely fine. I'm sure that there isn't a problem, but I suspect there's going to be a lot of people that are not going to touch PSUs by Gigabyte for a long, long time, if at all. And it's a reputation killer because people are just not going to bother. So yeah, if you're dubious, have a look at Seasonic, have a look at Corsair. They're okay. I've never had a problem with them, although one of mine did go bang. My Seasonic one packed in after 11 years, well, 10 years and I think 3 months. But to be fair, oh, sorry, I've still got the Corsair one. It was the Seasonic one. Was just outside of warranty, and the Corsair one I've still got. So go with a decent brand if you can, especially on the PSU. Decent brands across the board, but there's always the chance. We know electronics can be finicky. One little surge, one little failure across the board via VRMs or anything like that in the on your motherboard, boom, there goes your RAM, there goes your CPU. You just never know, so just be careful. Look at the new original range 3 car batteries ducted together. The cars never blow up, and neither will your PC. Yeah, I mean, funny you just mentioned that original. It was something we watched earlier that we noticed, and was it, oh, which car manufacturer was it? Was it Chrysler or somebody like that? I can't remember who it was. There's a manufacturer in the US, and I can't remember who it is now. It's somebody like Chrysler or something like that. They've recalled every one of their electrical vehicles from the last 2 years because they've found an issue with the batteries that are in there. Now, they've recalled every single one, and I can't remember which actual manufacturer it is. And what it was that they found on the, I think were the LG batteries, I think they were. I think they were LG batteries. And they found that on the production line that one of the robots that was making the batteries, it was slightly misaligned, and it was putting one of the components just ever so slightly too close on the circuit board or whatever it was. And it was just too close, and it was causing a chance of electrical fire. Obviously, it's an electrical battery, so you can have electrical fire. And that was it. So they've had to recall the whole lot. And that is just because of a tolerance of trying to squeeze things so close together because of, you know, sizing and everything like that. But that can happen to anyone. LG, you think America. Yeah, but I mean, that's America. We don't know where the batteries are made. Are they made in America? It might be an American brand of car, but that doesn't mean all the components are made there. Say, for example, all cricket bats are made, well, that you can use in matches, are made from willow. Willow is grown in the UK, but nobody manufactures the bats in the UK, or very few. We actually send all the willow to India, and then they come back. So there you go. I don't know, we've gone from GPUs to electrical cars to cricket bats, but there you go. I wonder what 3 words they are. But there we go. So that is Gigabyte's exploding PSUs. Like I said, just be very careful. Just to reiterate, and I will put them into chat just for future reference, so people know that these are the 2 models that are affected. There we go. They're the 2 models by Gigabyte. Just be on the lookout for them. If you have one of those, take it out of your system. Buy another one from a reputable dealer and send that back to whoever you got it from. Now, like I say, Gigabyte are offering a return and exchange service, but currently, well, up to now, as far as I know, they are only offering the same fucking PSU. Why would you want that? I don't know, but there you go. So let's get rid of that anyway. Don't bother with those. Not what you need. Right, next up, Dr. Disrespect is suing Twitch. Yeah. He's been a little bit quiet of late as Dr. Disrespect. I mean, obviously, you know who he is. He's on YouTube, etc. After last year being banned from Twitch. Now, he's very much a Marmite streamer. Some people love him because of his persona. Some people hate him. Some people think he's Dr. Like I say, he's very Marmite. His production values and how he's got to where he is, you've got to commend him for that. However, his conduct has been dubious at best at times. See, this is how it polarizes people. He's no saint. Yeah, I mean, we know he's no saint. He had to take time off from Twitch because he'd been found out, he'd been caught with his pants down because he cheated on his wife. Exactly as Balth just said. He got banned off Twitch because of filming 3 times. Not once did he do it, 3 times going into a public restroom at one of the games conferences. Which was it? It was one in the US. I can't remember. Anyway, from that incident, he actually got temporarily banned from Twitch. He also got revoked his entry for the actual event that he was at. And I can't remember which one it was. I did really read it earlier. But since then, obviously, after that point, he got banned from Twitch after signing an agreement with them. He had one of these exclusive agreements. He was probably the biggest streamer at the time on Twitch. He was pulling in ridiculous numbers. He had something like 4 million subscribers. Now, you imagine 4 million subscribers. Now, that and Twitch signing some kind of agreement. It's a contract. Remember, it is a contract. It isn't just an agreement. It is a contract. It's a legal binding contract. Now, for whatever reason, Twitch then, I think it was June the 20th or something like that, last year, just banned him. And he said he didn't know why, and they wouldn't tell him, or they hadn't told him for months on end. Now, it's materialized in the past couple of weeks that he has actually found out, and he's been told why he got banned, but he won't make it public knowledge because he's suing Twitch, because he's found out the reason why, and he says there's a reason why we're suing the fuck out of them. So he's found out something, and he doesn't believe that obviously it's a legitimate enough reason for them to ban him, because he says it's affected his ability to, earn an income. Bearing in mind, he's still pulling in over approximately 2.5 million, I think it is, over on YouTube. But he did say he's only earning about a quarter of what he was on Twitch. Now, okay, if you turn around to me and said you can't earn as much because you've done X, Y, Z, then I'd be a bit aggrieved by it, whatever. Now, I'm being a bit cynical here, and this is a kind of take on it just to get you guys thinking whether you agree with it or not. I don't know. Now, recently he's stated that he's actually starting a new development company in games. Now, if you don't know his past, he has worked in games before. He worked for Sledgehammer Games back in the early, I think it was 2010 to about 2015. He started as a community manager at Sledgehammer, working on the Call of Duty games. Then he became a level designer there as well. But he left in 2015 to basically become Dr. Disrespect. And then obviously all the subsequent things happened from there. So he has worked in games before. He worked, like I say, he made the multiplayer maps for, I think it was Call of Duty Advanced Warfare. You got to remember, Keeps, what he was there was not as Dr. Disrespect. Dr. Disrespect is a persona, okay? What you do in your private life is different to your job life. Everybody's the same. Everybody, how you are at home, how me and Emily are at home, Magic over there, are different to our private life is different to our work life. How we interact at work is different to how we act at home. So you've got to kind of split him off. He is a persona. Dr. Disrespect is a persona. Absolutely. But you've got to remember, all the community manager work, you can't drag up the community manager stuff from where he's passed before he became Dr. Disrespect. Now, he's taken that on. He's had a change of life from, say, 2015, and maybe his life choices have changed, hence why he's done the restroom thing and etc. But what I'm saying is that as a background, he's worked in the game pretty much prior to 2015. He was working at Sledgehammer. Nobody really knew much about him. He was a good FPS player. He did a lot of competitive stuff. Yeah, that's what we know. He didn't have the persona of Dr. Disrespect. He's created that character and he's evolved. So splitting those apart and not dealing with them as such. Now, he did, like I said, recently announced that he's going to be starting up a development company for games, presumably FPS games, because that's his passion. He plays a lot of FPS games. Now, he's done that recently. We all know that game development's expensive. And he said, you know, I'm only earning a quarter of the money that I earned before when I was on Twitch. Where's he going to get the money from? Now, don't get me wrong, you know, I'm sure that he's going to have people, you know, queuing up to be involved with him, because he's still got sponsors, he's still got people. But he did say recently as well that he's concerned that people are always bothered about what's happened with Twitch. You know, we don't really want to be dealing with you if XYZ. It's all the speculation, and it's damaging to his image and his ability to earn money, hence why he's suing Twitch. But where's he going to get the money from if he's in that situation to start a game dev company? Now, he's made a lot of money. I'm sure he has. You know, having 4 million people subscribe to you on Twitch and then earning even a quarter of that on YouTube, you're going to earn a lot of money. But is it enough to start a games development company? You're going to need outside investment. Or, cynical me here, you're going to need a payday. A Twitch going to be that payday? Is this why he's suing? For defamation of character, for loss of earnings. You know, and that's what it is. That's what he pretty much is going to aim for. That's the speculation anyway, is that that's what he's going to aim at. Not that he's going to say that, you know, you shouldn't have kicked me off because that ban is not fair. It's going to be that I've lost all this money because you did that. I've lost this kind of influence. I've lost the pull of having this ability for a sponsorship. Now, this is maybe me being cynical, but how's he going to get the money? How are you going to... It's going to take millions upon millions of dollars. Yeah, I mean, contractually, yeah, absolutely. If he's what I'll say about this, if he's contractually broken something, absolutely original. Again, that's why I was devil advocate on that. It's a cynical viewpoint, is that Twitch can be as bad as other people. However, if Twitch has said to him, look, you've done something contractually wrong and you're out the door, then I don't think any court in the land is going to go, yeah, actually, we're going to side with Dr. Disrespect on this one. However, if they've just said, you know, we've realized we don't want to pay you this much, it's a bit over the top, actually, fuck it, you know, we're going to get rid of you, then they're going to be in the shit. Now, he seems to think that he's got a very good case. I mean, you don't use the phrase, there's a reason why we're suing the fuck out of them. That was his phrase, not mine. He was stated as saying that. It'd be interesting to see how it pays out. Like I say, I don't particularly like the persona. I appreciate his how he's generated interest and everything, but I think the way that sometimes how he does it is notoriety rather than fame. So maybe original. That's a very good point. That they may have got the panties in a twist. It's going to be interesting if it does come out in court, and this is something that he's going to play out, I reckon, over the next year or more. I don't think it's going to be a short-term thing, but where do you think the money's coming from? If he says in one hand he can't get the sponsorship and the deals that he wants because people think there's always something hanging over his head, why announce that you're going to make a game dev company, and then on the other hand you're saying that Twitch have done you wrong, I've lost all these earnings, etc. So how do you generate that money? Yeah, I mean, I read that today as well. Again, it's rumor, but how do you how can you justify that, if you know what I mean? How can you prove that? But yeah, Mixer was around and they were poaching a lot of people at the time. You know, Shroud went there, Ninja went there, and then all of a sudden they popped across elsewhere. So yeah, exactly. Twitch are no angel. I'm not saying that Twitch are the gods by any stretch. They're definitely not. Just as an aside to that, there is a definite problem at the moment, especially with the hate raids. I'm not really going to dive into it because it's an evolving matter. But let's say that people of minority ethnicities and people of color are getting targeted with hate raids, and it's very, very difficult at the moment for them to stream without somebody turning up and causing an issue. And then Twitch seemingly aren't doing a great deal about it. Again, it might be another video along with Activision, etc., another stream rather than another video, where we're going to look at this as it evolves. Hopefully Twitch are going to pull the fingers out. It does need sorting out. They do need to bring in a way to help people who are getting hate raided. Even, you know, the suggestions are that people go follower only mode, etc., and stuff like that. But people can follow you very easily, and then all of a sudden you have to cut your chat dead by not allowing anyone to talk, because somebody could then subscribe, and then you've got to try and ban them. But then there's thousands of followers that you get hit with as well, and then all the different names that they can use. Somebody said it was something like 72 days worth of all the different combination of words that they can use because of all the different characters in the alphabet across the globe, you know, obviously not just in English, that you can say certain words and it appear on screen. Now you could say shit multiple ways, like with S-H-I-T, or you could use dollars H-I-T, S-H-1-T. It still says the same thing. Yeah, I mean, you have to stop the raids, or like I say, it's very, very difficult to do. Yeah, but kick raid again, it's down to Twitch. Twitch needs to sort it out. It's their platform, but again, we know they're not angels. Same with this whole thing, Dr. Disrespect. They're not angels either side by any stretch. They both do wrong. They will do wrong. I'm sure they will carry on doing wrong, but let's hope that they finally do something right between them. But like I say, that's a totally different ball game to the one. I didn't have time to talk about everything, but sadly, that is one of them that we're in at the moment. Right, we are going to move on from that. I'm just going to take a quick slurp of water. And I'm going to do my usual.
Nobody likes being left out. That's why Special Effect are helping people with physical disabilities to play video games. But this isn't just about having fun. The gaming setups we create are personalized, so people can play to the very best of their abilities. And that opens the door to inclusion and independence, confidence and creativity. Help us level the playing field and create more magical gaming moments. Because it's everyone's turn to play.
There we go. My favorite charity that I'm going to throw in every week into the GeekCast. As you know, by all means, dive into that website, check them out. We've done a few streams for them in the past. If you can as well, do link up your charity of choice on Amazon if you do have Amazon in your country to Special Effect. I'm not saying you have to, obviously, but it is worthwhile. So anything that you buy via smile.amazon, you know, whatever your country domain is, should go to them. But that's specifically in the UK. It's a worthwhile charity. Everybody should be allowed to game. And certainly, I think if I was, for whatever reason, in the situation where I needed assistance to game, those guys would be top of the list for what they can do. And the more money they get, the better. Right. Moving on to the next subject. Everspace, we got a new demo, indeed. Completely disagree. Posters should be banned. Did you not hear of postal strike? Hey, what? Hey, where did that come from? I'm confused now. So yeah, anybody that knows me, you know, and you know that I follow Everspace and Everspace 2, and I work with the guys at Rockfish Games from time to time. Just a heavy reminder, I know Will's here as well. He's probably keeping his head down low here. I can see he's in the VIP list. Pretty much there's a new demo out. It is based around the current state of the game. The original demo that came out at the beginning of early access was just then. I mean, we've moved on quite significantly since then, so the game is in a totally different place in regards features and in certain look, as well as audio. So what the guys over at Rockfish done have created a new game, a new demo of how Everspace 2 is now. So if you don't already have the game, because it's early access on Steam. Oh, mail strike, right? Okay. Are you confusing me there, Keeps? You can download the demo for free. It allows you to play virtually the whole of the starter area, which is the Ceto system, up to level 5. You can carry on playing around in the area if you wish, but you can't get past that area. You're kind of limited. So it's a good taste of what the game's going to be like, but that's the start off. Like I say, if you don't have the game, you can download it. If you have it, you can't download it, which obviously you don't really need to. But do tell your friends about it. And pretty much, if you have never seen what Everspace 2 looks like, you're going to see it now.
I remember dying so many times. It's almost as if I never even had a life at all.
That war, the things we all did, it wasn't right.
Feels like the edge of the universe.
You have no idea how big this whole thing is.
Another bloody clone! I am eternally damned.
There we go. That is basically the trailer for the early access. So it has moved on a little bit even from that trailer. Like I say, it's constantly in development. I'll be playing it more as we get closer to launch. We're not there yet. It's still a ways off. But I don't want to spoil it for myself. Hence why I'm not playing it too much at the moment. I keep it updated and I dive in just to see, but I don't want to spoil it too much. But I'm sure when it comes around to nearer launch, we'll be doing a lot more streaming, either for myself or with Rockfish, just to show off the game because it's fantastic. And as well, I can't wait because when the game does launch, we're going to have a launch party in Germany, which I'm going to, all being well. So yeah, I'm looking forward to that and getting to meet the team. Maybe there might be a launch stream when we actually are there. So maybe you might see us in Germany while we're there. Who knows? Who knows? But it'll always be a highlight for me of where I got to close out the Kickstarter for Rockfish on the last night of the Kickstarter. It was a bit tense. We did manage to get through and then get the stretch goal as well. But no, that was good. Finishing off their Kickstarter. And a little anecdote on this one is that I didn't even know I was supposed to be closing it because Will and Eric never told me. All of a sudden, we were watching the stream before and Eric was on. And then he said in the stream, oh, we've got GeekByte coming up in 20 minutes to finish off the Kickstarter. And I'm like, are we? Am I? So I quickly messaged Michael, who's the CEO of Rockfish Games, on Discord, and I said, am I supposed to be streaming in 20 minutes? And he said to me, I thought you guys had sorted it out. And I went, nobody said a word to me. And he said, oh, well, he says, I thought Will and Eric had been in touch with you. I went, No, nobody said anything. Well, luckily I was free, so I did the stream and I finished it off, and lo and behold, we hit the stretch goal and everything, but nothing like being under pressure, you know. And then all of a sudden I'm like, so I had to quickly like set up and everything, but that was good. We managed to hit the target, and we plowed through to the stretch goal. But definitely check it out, it's worthwhile. Like I say, it's a new demo. It's going to be worth your time, even if you just get a feel for the game. Open world RPG elements, space looter shooter. What more could you ask for? And it's gorgeous as well, absolutely gorgeous. Yeah, Keepy, the AI is called Hive, and he is so sarcastic. He's absolutely superb. He was sarcastic as hell in the first game, and then you heard him just at the end. Not another bloody clone. Yeah. So yeah. But yeah, I'm sure at some point I do want to play Everspace 1 and Everspace 2 as a duo stream. So I'll play some of the original, and then play some of the second game as well, because I do have access, because it's early access. Right. I hope you're all ready for this. I really do. I hope you're all ready, because we are up to what is normally the highlight of the stream, unfortunately, for me. Anyway, name the game. We are going to be playing Name the Game and Name the Movie. So I hope you've all got your thinking hats on, because we're going to play. They're not as difficult. Well, I said they're not as difficult. They're definitely not as difficult as the last ones, because nobody got them. So let's have a look. Let's bring it up, shall we? Let's have a little look-see. So, right. Name the game. You know the rules. You know what happens. I put up an image. I start a timer for 60 seconds. The image is blurred to hell. You cannot see what it is. Oh, fucking hell, Annie. Everybody starts doing this. You've got to work out what it is. If you are right within the first 60 seconds, I give you 5,000 geek coins. That's, you know, my present to you for that hard work. If nobody gets it, I restart the timer and I de-blur the image. Only a little bit. Damn, sorry, might have magic, yeah. It's all these previous ones that are coming up. If you get it in the second 60 seconds, I will give you 2,000 geek coins. If nobody gets it, I de-blur it even more. And then we restart the timer for one last time. And then if anybody gets it within those 60 seconds, you get 1,000 geek coins. Now, if somebody should get it within the first Super Seducer, within the first 10 seconds, I'm going to give them 10,000 geek coins, because I think it'd be epic if they just got it straight away. If they got it straight away, I'd be so surprised, and they said, boom, there you go, 10,000 geek coins. Now, at the end of it, the third go, no geek coins are available. However, you're playing for pride at that point, but I'll de-blur it a little bit more, and then we'll see who gets it. I will obviously tell you the actual answer. So, let us bring up the 1 minute timer. There we go. We've got a 1 minute timer. I'm going to restart the timer, and then I'm going to show the image. So you got to be on the ball here. Let's go. There you go. Magic's just said, what the fuck is that? Boom, original. Fuck me sideways. Well done, that man. That is indeed Limbo. Fucking hell, he got it. And just to prove, it is indeed Limbo. Now, I was dubious about this one, because I thought that now I'm going to de-blur it, and the reason being is that the style is very, very iconic, and I will show you why when I de-blur it, when I take the filter off, because it is purely in black and white. Yeah. So that is a very good game. I've got it on, I think, epic, but wow. I tell you what, I did wonder. That's why I said if somebody gets it in the first 5 seconds, because it's a very iconic style. You've played it? Oh, have you been put? Oh, is that one of the freebies that you got? Magic's actually played it as well. Never heard of it. Annie, you need to broaden your horizons, my dear. You need to broaden your horizons. Right, let's find. Wow. Original. Well done, that man. Well done. Shall I just ban him instead? Yeah, it's not a bad game, to be fair. Why the hell does that? I can do that, yeah, right. So let's have a look at that. Let's just have a little look for original. We're going to give him the 10,000. So currently, you have 96,851 I'm going to give you 10,000 for that. So you're going to go up to 106,000. Boom. There we go. Actually, well played, though. I was, like I say, I was a bit dubious, but you can have a round of applause. Definitely. Well done, that man. Still, he puts him up to 7th place now in the scores. But, yeah, well done. Yeah. He's sandwiched between Talrian and Mrs. Thing. Are you lucky? Are you lucky? But yeah, like I said, I was a bit dubious about that one. I thought people might get it or might not, but well done, original. Very well done indeed. Right, so we'll get rid of that. We'll get rid of that. And we'll get rid of that. Now, same rules apply. I don't think people are going to get this in the first 5 seconds. If they do, my PC's been hacked. So it's name the movie, this one. Okay. We're going to bring up the timer. I'm going to show you the image of the movie. So same rule. What, do you want to have chitty chitty bang bang next to you? Now, can I just stress, and this is just a rule that I am bringing in just so you know, if you guess the right answer before I start the timer and reveal the image, your guess does not count. So if I had actually brought up Mary Poppins, you wouldn't actually. You'll say it again. Right. So we're going to refresh the timer, and then we're going to bring in the image. Off you go. And it isn't Mary Poppins. See, people are stumped a bit now, aren't they? They're not saying much now. Doom. Oof. Total Recall. Lion King. I'm just trying to remember. Hang on, Doom. What? No. That's what she said.
Merry Christmas.
Raise the wanker. There we go. I was just trying to see what I'd set on my Go XLR. I thought I'd recorded, but I haven't. Mission to Mars, Azani. Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas. Screamers, Dune, Lion King, Total Recall, Doom. Doom. We're all doomed. But fucking hell, he's done it again. It is the Martian. It's the Martian. Original. I think you got that from Annie, didn't you? You got that from Annie. He's actually got it. Unbelievably, he's actually got it again. The actual answer is the Martian. It is. And I'm going to de-blur the image again. Fucking hell. He's on fire. The man's on fire. It is. There it is. There's the Martian. That was Dory. Oh, dear. That was Dory. So Dory, your little one, actually guessed the Martian. Wow. Fucking hell. That's impressive. I actually thought I was going to be a little while with this one. Wait, Annie, when you said Mission to Mars, I thought, oh, no, she just slapped the keyboard. She's a clever kid. I'll tell you what, that was... So, Annie, you just, I think you gave it away. That was the problem, is that I could see where people were going with obviously the desert, the sand and everything. Oh dear, that was so fucking hell. He's actually won another 5,000 coins. Jeez. Jesus. He's on fire today. On fire. Right. So another 5,000. He's spoiled. You've apparently spoiled it. So you're on 111,000 now. Submit. There we go. He's done. Total Recall. Yeah, I mean, like I said, that I could see where people were going because of the sand. It was the coloration, but yeah. Oh wow, well done, well done. That was suitably impressive. Jesus, unbelievable. Let's have a look at that. Now, just because I feel guilty for Annie, I'm gonna round her up to 90,000 geek coins. There you go, Annie. You've had a little tickle. Hello. There you go. But yeah, if Napa wasn't here to see it, indeed. Yeah. It was just unreal. I did think people would struggle with that one, but Limbo, like I say, for the game was just so iconic. But you know, that was some good going. That was some good going. Well, I mean, you just cut my show down in half a length. Originally, you banned. But yeah, very impressive. Very impressive. It's done well on that one. But blimey. Right, let's get rid of that. All the hard work setting that up. It took more time to set it up to get the image right and not to show Left 4 Dead. Unreal. Anyway, let's go back again. Right, so that's the name of the game, but we have a new name actually. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. Right then. Stream mark at that point. And next up, I have to wrap this up here. Yes, please. You see, I'm middle of a show and then she's starting jibber jabbering to me. Right. Fortnite Imposter Syndrome. Oh yes. Oh yes. Just when you thought Epic Games was fighting the good fight against Google and Apple over their monopolistic marketplace, they go and pull what I consider is probably the dick move of the year when it comes to gaming. Now, you know I'm a content creator and I'm affiliated with the Epic Game Store, but I'm sorry, Epic, but this is an asshole move. It really, really is. And they know they've done it. They haven't done it out of oopsie or anything like that. They've literally done this intentionally. Now, if you don't know, obviously we know what Fortnite is. It's a big game. It's a money spinner, massive money spinner. People like Ninja, Shroud, and everybody else have played it to death. It's really popular. Absolute money spinner for Epic. They bring in new things. They have concerts by big stars. I think they've been running a Martin Luther King kind of show reel that's been going on over the past few days. What they've probably done, which, like I say, is a bad thing. Anybody here will know of the game Among Us. You know the basic premise. You're on a spaceship on a map in two-dimensional. You play as a character. You've got things to do. You've got tasks to do. Then you have two people, or maybe one person, who is an imposter. Okay? Their job is not to help you survive. They are there to kill the crew. Okay? Hence, imposters. Okay? They are not part of the crew. They are the imposter. Now, basically, Epic have just ripped every content of Among Us and put it into the game of Fortnite. They've even called it Imposter Mode, which is the name of the bad characters within Among Us. The map is very similar. Yeah, to be fair, Keepy, I know they're not the first. The VR version is similar. However, when you are Epic and you are making billions of dollars per year, and they are making billions of dollars per year across the board, hence why they can pay exclusive deals for people being on the Epic Game Store. They knew damn well that they thought, that's a cracking idea. I know what we'll do. We're going to rip it out and we're going to put it into our game because it's great. They also know that Innersloth, who are the creative, the development team and the creators of Among Us, they're not a big team. Their game was going nowhere initially. It wasn't selling. Then all of a sudden it got picked up. It did the whole snowball effect as a streamer. And then it went boom. You know, and it just exploded. And then everybody was like playing it. I've played it, played it with some of you guys. We've had good fun with it. We'll play it again. But they know that they're a tiny little development team that have made a good amount of money probably in the last couple of years. They were supposed to be making Among Us 2, but they put it off. Well, they just thought, do you know what? And this is how it comes across. We like those bits of those games. It's like a school bully. We want your school lunch. we're going to take that. You're not going to do anything about it because we're big and hard. What they've done to Inner Sloth is like, we want those bits out of your game. We're just going to take them, plonk them into our game. You can't do anything about it because you haven't got the financial clout to deal with us. Now, I'm sorry, that's how it comes across. Inner Sloth have said themselves that they would have loved if Fortnite and Epic had come to them and said, we want to do a collab. We want to do a collaboration with you regarding your game. How about it? Are you up for it? They would have jumped to the chance and they would have said absolutely without a shadow of a doubt, because they've been mental not to, because at the end of the day, it would have been good exposure for their game. But no, Epic just went out of the way, swiped what they wanted, and it is a virtual clone. The only difference really is the map is slightly tweaked, but it's a very similar layout. And obviously the version in Fortnite is played in 3D, because obviously Fortnite is a 3D game, whereas Among Us is a top-down 2D version. Yes, I know, obviously, Keeper, you mentioned the VR chat version, and yeah, that's been played and everything. However, I think that's a little bit different when you think it's one of the biggest games in the world against a very niche product of VR, which is a modded version, etc. So I can see it's not, you know, it's a similar vein, but when it's one of the biggest gaming companies in the world doing it against maybe one or two people who are making a VR version, you can see that there's a different line along there. Phelan, isn't the first time Fortnite didn't start as a battle royale. Obviously it didn't. It was a very small mode. They were added as a wave defense game. Yeah, absolutely. Fortnite did change with regards to PUBG when they started doing the BR, because they were very, very much aware of how well PUBG were doing. And then lo and behold, they started changing. Because if I remember rightly, Fortnite, when it first started, was a single-player game. And like I said, then they brought in the whole building and everything else. Then they forgot the awesome little defense game and went out on BR when it got popular. Yeah. And that's why they did it, because they saw that it was probably... Now, obviously, PUBG were, you know, enamored with that. Yeah, it's their different take. It was very cartoony. Now, obviously, nobody has the trademark over a certain game style. So when you think, yeah, Among Us and Inner Sloth don't have the trademark on that kind of gameplay. However, when you take something as a complete and utter direct copy, near enough, that's plagiarism at its finest. And to be honest with you, that's pretty much what I think Epic have done. And I really think it's such a dick move. Now, I don't play Fortnite. I've never put money into Fortnite, and I never will. It's not my kind of game. But this is what always worries me about people who get too big for the boots. And like I said, at the top of this section, I said that, you know, everybody was kind of backing Epic to a degree with their fight against Google, their fight against Apple. And then they just literally get their gun and go, do you know what? There's my foot. Poof. And they do something so dickish that they're as bad, or they seemingly put themselves in the same bracket of evilness as other people, such as your Apples, such as your Googles and stuff, such as your Facebooks. And it just baffles me. It's almost like they just have we need this. We want this in our game. We've got to be the best. We've got to have everything. And it's like they almost have a split personality. Like, oh, we're going to do this. We're going to do this for the consumers. We're going to do this. And then it's like, no, we're going to fuck somebody else off just to please our consumers. And they're just as bad as the people who they're supposed to be fighting against. Now, like I say, I'm a content creator affiliate with Epic on the Epic Game Store. And to be honest with you, at the moment, I wouldn't want anybody to use my code because I don't think they deserve the money. Now, if they did something, you know, good and turned around to the guys at Inner Sloth and said, look, do you know what? We shouldn't have really done that. Here's a donation to help you on your way, you know, this kind of thing. We're really sorry. Or they pull it and just never do it again in the sense of the imposters. But they've been hyping it up. They aren't going to do that. Now, if they basically said to Inner Sloth, you know, look, sorry about this. Let's, you know, let's talk about a proper collab. Or if not, hey, here's some financial, because they could dish out thousands of dollars, thousands of pounds, no problem. They pay for the massive exclusives worth millions of dollars anyway. I just think it's a total dick move, and to be honest with you, like I say, I have the code. I just wish people don't use it. I know people don't often because the Epic Game Store isn't the cheapest, but don't use it currently because I think they're absolute dickwads. And put it in on the freebie games that they give every week. That's fine because that just tracks what's, you know, I'm kind of promoting because they're freebies. But don't use it. I don't want the kickback from a company that will quite happily pull the rug from a small development company. It'd be like all of a sudden Roblox or somebody like that turning around to Rockfish Games and basically ripping their assets and just saying, well, we like the look of that. You know, you wouldn't do that. That wouldn't be fair. That's not nice. You know, plagiarism is pretty much the highest form of flattery, to be fair, because you think, that's good, I want that. Yeah, but don't. I mean, there was a phrase somebody said that plagiarism is doing something once as an exact copy, but then doing it 3 times or something is just research. You know, I really think that there's certain ways and conduct that you could conduct yourself, and I really do think Epic have, you know, I don't know, they've kind of imploded a little bit. Now, I'm sure it's not going to cause many ruptures amongst the younger generation who maybe play more Fortnite. They probably never even heard of Among Us. But you got to remember, Among Us sells for $5 or £5 on the games on the Steam. I don't even think it's on Epic Game Store. If it is, I'm surprised they haven't pulled it. If they have, I'm surprised in the sloth. If somebody wants to check, and I can't at the moment, but on the Epic Game Store, just have a look and see if Among Us is on there. If it is, I'm surprised it's still there, because I would have thought that Inner Sloth would pull it from there, but who knows. The other thing I do on Epic, since they ruin Save the World, Fortnite, is take their free games. Yeah, quite rightly so. I think if something's free on there, and it is again a marketing ploy, they give you these free games so that you are tied into their ecosystem. But I've spent a few things on a few pounds on there. I haven't spent a lot, but I've spent some. But like I say, don't at the moment. I just think they're doing an absolute dick move. Now, I'm not going to pull much clout by telling you boys and girls not to. I'm surprised at that, to be honest. I really am. I mean, I know it's an avenue for them to sell, and they probably get a better cut by being on the Epic Game Store than they do on Steam. So out of that £4, they may get £3 of it on Epic, whereas on Steam they might only get £2.50. But yeah, who knows? Yeah, I mean, they've probably heard it, to be honest with you. It's whether they play it. You can hear of something, but you don't necessarily play it. So I think it's the demographic of the players. Now, I'm sure a lot of older players do play Fortnite because it is a shooter. It's a complex shooter, etc. But I always thought it was aimed at a slightly younger age group than somebody who plays PUBG, for example, or Warzone kind of thing, although a lot of kids do play Warzone as well. But yeah, I can imagine there's more people play, obviously, Fortnite. It's a dick move. I don't think anybody can disagree with that when you do such a thing. Do check it out, how much of a similarity it is. But Epic, really? You're almost doing a Gigabyte here by saying stupid things and doing stupid things when you're supposed to be doing a better job. Do better. I think that's very much a thing we can say on that one. Right, next. Right, a game that I don't play, but I think Furlong does. Very much a fan of this. I have played it in the past. I just don't play it any longer. And that's Destiny 2. And the new expansion that has been ready for launch next year in February is called The Witch Queen. Isn't it weird how we've had The Witch King, obviously, that's from Lord of the Rings. Then there's the Lich King, which was in World of Warcraft. And now we've got the Witch Queen. I'm sure there's very, very, very many other games that have got these. But anyway, take a look.
Truth is a funny thing. Does it live in the world or in the mind? Is it constant or can it be bent? Who decides what is true? In this universe of light and dark, there is no greater power. Tell me, little lights, what is your truth now?
Well, there we go. I'd watched the video earlier and I hadn't rewound it to start, so here's where you go. So the end at the beginning. Furlong, only ever wrote 530 hours in Destiny 2, not played in a while, not even finished my stasis subclass. That actually means nothing to me now. I did play it a little while. I know we streamed it as well. It was a very good game, but then it all just went, it just went flat as a fart, and I didn't enjoy the PvP. That was rather annoying. Yeah, and that was the big change as well, didn't they? They went free to play, and kind of the whole starter area kind of disappeared, if I remember rightly. Yeah, removed tutorials and crap for new players. Yeah, bit of an odd choice. Sometimes you do wonder that a lot of games developers, certainly from an outside perspective, forget that there is an outside perspective and they look at it from their knowledge inside. Like, oh, this is it. They do this. It's like somebody who's a very good player at a specific game. And they think, oh yeah, this is easy, and then somebody else comes along and go, fuck, that's confusing, and they'll be like, what do you mean it's easy, just do this? And then you forget there's different ability levels, and somebody who is new to a game won't be able to have the same, control or anything like that, and it can confuse and baffle people, and that straight away puts people off. That's why you should try the demo of Everspace 2, by the way, just so you get used to the controls. It's strange that this MMO light looter shooters just doesn't ever seem to be done quite right. Division 1, 2 are still my favourites though. Their worlds are insane. Absolutely original. I played Division 1 quite extensively. Division 2 I didn't enjoy as much, but I love Division 1. I just loved the whole scenario, the snow scenes and everything. I thought it was fantastic. But yeah, I still dabble with Division 2 from time to time. I do have it installed. But anyway, just to go back to obviously Destiny 2, the Witch Queen. I'm just going to read kind of the spiel that came out. So the big news from the Bungie camp is the reveal of the expansion coming in February 2022. And it's called The Witch Queen, obviously, which you know. Delve into Savuthan's throne world to uncover the mystery of how she and her Lucent Hive stole the light. Now, obviously, the background is the light, that kind of the Guardians need, and it was stolen, disappeared, etc. Learn the secrets to crafting new weapons, the new glaive, and survive the truth within her web of lies. So she seems like a very nasty character. Very, very cleverly done, I thought, the imagery that you saw in the trailer. I didn't actually expect when I first watched the trailer of her to have wings, I actually just thought she was going to be some formidable character. but you could see she had her own kind of necrotic version of the Guardians, of the little lights as well. Felon says they removed the story to tutorial stuff to make it more accessible for new players, which left new players clueless. Exactly, yeah. Again, shooting yourselves in the foot there, Felon, aren't they? So the biggie to take away from this, and it is just from what I've read, because like I say, I haven't kept up with the Destiny 2 stuff, but I know it's still a big seller, is that they're finally going to have weapon crafting coming into the game, which people have been asking for a long time. Even when I played at launch, people were crying out that they wanted to be able to craft their own weapons, and I think a lot of games do that. Obviously, Lotro's going through that similar change with regards legendaries and being able to create their own unique versions. So that's going to be interesting to see how that pans out. I'm not going to mention Lotro in any other way tonight, so I just thought I'd just shoehorn one in there. And also the glaive is going to be a new weapon type. Now, anybody that doesn't know what a glaive is basically a pole arm. It's a very long pole with a blade, a curved blade on the end of it. So imagine like a knife blade, like a steak knife blade. You chop it off the handle and then you stick it onto a long pole. That's what a glaive is. It's also called other things in like Eastern countries, but it's a European version of a pole arm with a blade on the end is a glaive. So that's going to be coming in as well, which obviously people are going to have to get used to playing with that. But it's apparently the weapon crafting as well will allow you to create unique weaponry with mod, shader, and stat combos. Berlon, you'll probably know what I'm talking about with this. And also, and it was something I picked up last minute, which I didn't realize, so I threw it in just before we went live, was that crossplay has been now enabled across all platforms. So like your Stadia, your Xbox, your PlayStation 4, your PC has been enabled. Now this is quite a big thing because normally they like to keep the ecosystem separate. They don't generally like crossplay because obviously there's not many cheats on your consoles. PCs can be riddled with cheaters. Stadia, who the fuck plays on Stadia? So they generally keep them separate. Obviously, if you play games such as like Warzone and things like that, you can cross-play as well. But again, there's usually a toggleable switch where people will go, nope, not today. Hashtag Stadia Squad. They pretty much will, turn the toggle off so that you don't play with PC players, or likewise, PC players will not want to play with console players because of the aim assist. Now, I don't like aim assist, and I'm just going to dive across to this. They did some testing. I think it was not Westy. It was Jack Frags. He did some testing. Is Stadia still a thing? It is still a thing. Jack Frags did a test with a controller on PC for the aim assist, and it was quite ridiculous how sticky this thing actually was. As your character drifted across, and he didn't move the controls, he just moved his character, and you can actually see as he drifted across where the kind of hitbox was, his mouse pointer actually would then turn and just ever so slightly turn his character towards the enemy he was aiming at. So he'd literally just strafe left and right, but then his character would actually start drifting while it was stickying the shot. Now that's just bonkers. I know why they do it, but you always think, how much is it helping? How much is it compensating for the lack of granular control that you have on a keyboard and mouse? I mean, there's some very, very good controller players out there, and I'm not disparaging people who play that, but I would say 95% of the time, if you took off aim assist and played a PC player against a controller player on whatever format, it doesn't matter whether you're on console or you're on PC, as long as you can use a keyboard and mouse and a controller on that same system, turn off any aim assist, I will 95% of the time think that the mouse and keyboard player would kick the other one's ass, because there just isn't the granular control on a controller. You can't be as accurate, hence why they have to put in aim assist. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens with that. It's always the thing that they need to tweak. How much is the aim assist going to help? Because it's going to piss some players off. I don't know if there's a toggle. Maybe they do need to toggle it off so that you don't play with anybody other than PC players. If you can turn it off for PvP only, that would be better. It'd be nice to play with your friends in PvE environment games, you know, like running around as a squad. You've got 2 people playing on console, 2 people playing on PC. Group them together, because you're not, you know, it's not competitive. You're only playing against the system then. Again, something that'd be very good to be able to switch in either mode. The other thing is as well, there's a new anti-cheat coming out, which has been implemented for Destiny 2. Maybe it's to coincide with the crossplay, and that is Battle Eye. Some of you will have known it. It's been around quite a while. That's going to get launched into the game as well. The devs have said that they do expect a slight impact performance, because the way most anti-cheats work is that it checks what is in your memory of your PC. So it's constantly checking what is running. If you try and inject something into the memory to kind of affect the game, it tries to detect it. So it can cause a little bit of a performance hit. Be interesting to see how much it does. At least it isn't some of the other copyright protections. Is it Denuro? Oh shit, what's the other one that's really horrible that people they put it in the games and then they get rid of it? Begins with D. Oh, Denuvo, that's the one. I was close. I was so close. Denuvo, that's the one. Is the devil indeed, it is. You're right. Well, that's what's coming for Destiny 2. It is a big thing. Destiny is still a big IP, and I'm sure it's going to go from strength to strength going forward. Right, moving on. New World. Oh yeah, New World. Let's play the video. Or not. We'll try it again. Oh, what are you doing to me? Why are you not doing? Hang on.
The stories you've heard. They don't tell the whole truth. The island is indeed a place of legend. There is power and vast riches as well. But many who've sought to claim them have simply vanished without a trace. Your ship is stocked and your crew assembled. Chart your course and your fate. We can pretend no longer. This corruption must be stopped. Say a prayer for the souls of your crew.
Fuck, that's a long outro bit on that video. I know what you're saying, Original. Funnily enough, it's I think one of the Viva La Dirt videos where they have all these random names from the Epic NPC band videos, and you see people running around in the background and they've got names like that. But yeah, it is quite a funny thing. So I know there's a few of us here that are going to be playing it at launch, September the 28th. So we're actually just over a month away. So about 4 weeks ish. But they've just announced yesterday that there's going to be an open beta for the game. So if anybody wants to try it, you're going to be able to for free. It's not going to cost you anything. And even if you've already pre-ordered, you're going to be able to play it from the 9th of September until the 12th. So there's going to be like, 3 days, 9th, about 4 days, 9th, 10th, 11th, 12th, yeah, inclusive. So you'll be able to dive in, play it for 4 days, and then get everything wiped again. So whether we'll see any improvements or whether it's just going to be the same as the closed beta that we were playing a little while ago, it'll be very interesting. But it's obviously just going to be a demo, basically. I would have thought that close to launch. It is like, well, it finishes on the 12th, so it's only like just 2.5 weeks before launch anyway. So I can't imagine there's going to be too many changes unless there's some almighty cock up. Again, it might just be so that they get some figures of how many people are interested and want to play. I'll probably play it just for a difference, change of pace, rather than just Lotro all the time. And just to reiterate, when the game does launch, I'm going to be playing it quite a bit. Lotro will take a slight backseat, but we'll be diving into New World. We're going to be playing, like I said, quite a bit of it. We're going to be doing some group stuff as well, so there'll be a lot of people on jibber-jabbering while we're levering. Also going to be doing some multi-streams with Will Shuazan as we go through the content as well. So if you do want to try it, even if it's a game that you're not really interested in, it's free. You'll probably need to just download it onto Steam. Just grab it, have a go at it. If it's not your kind of thing, no harm, no foul. You've not got anything to lose with it, really. I just hope they improve the tutorial bit at the start, 'cause it's a little bit, a little bit lacking, but who knows? We'll see. So yeah, just a little bit on that one. It is 9th till the 12th of September. Open world, New World open beta. I'm gonna get the right one all the way round. Definitely something we'll be looking at for sure. Right, at last, one for the night until we get to basically the video at the end. The new Call of Duty. Now I've got to mention it because it's probably one of the biggest IPs in the world. I've certainly played Call of Duty since, well, the original, which came out after Medal of Honor. So about 2002, 2003 was when I first played Call of Duty. Call of Duty 2 was when my love affair with the game went south, because they consolified it and made it into a very, very small game, because they were releasing on consoles, and that was the change that happened. Now, if you've not seen it, it has announced it's Vanguard. It's going back to World War II, and hopefully this time the button's going to work.
The whole world is burning. Sometimes, the only way to put out the flames is with more fire.
For this.
This is the theatre of war, Arthur. There's no curtain call for bravery.
Bravery's what comes after, not what you were in the moment.
Target locked. Dropping bomb.
whatever we do it together.
Pre-order now and get early access to the open beta. Digital pre-orders get instant access to the Night Raid, Mastercraft, and Black Ops, Cold War, and Warzone.
There we go. It's not a bad trailer, actually, to be fair. I think it's... I do like World War II shooters. It is probably one of my favourite eras for shooters. Now, Vanguard itself is being made by Sledgehammer Games. They seem to alternate between various development teams for the Call of Duty one, so that one team is making like this year's and then somebody's already working on the following year's Call of Duty, because we know it's like a yearly cycle with Activision and Blizzard. If you'll have noticed as well, they've kept it very, very minimal with regards to Activision, Blizzard, any propaganda. Any logos or anything like that don't appear on much of the trailers, apart from usually right at the end. And obviously that's because of the ongoing issues still at Activision and Blizzard with harassment, bullying, and God knows what else. Again, that's a whole nother topic for another GeekCast. I couldn't fit that in as well because that's kind of developed onwards as well. But it's going to be a narrative-focused shooter based around basically what was the world's first special forces unit. Now it's made up of 4 characters. You'll have seen there's basically a British army sergeant, there's a Russian lady sniper, there's an American Navy pilot, and then there's an Australian guy that fights in Northern Africa. So they're pretty much their kind of special forces characters that they've all brought together, but you're going to be playing each of those parts to kind of go to finalize a story. Now they said that they're going to aim for a historically accurate game, which they do, but they've also said that there's going to be some what if scenarios thrown in. So what if this happened, or what if that had happened, you know? So they know they're pretty much giving themselves a get out clause to go off on a different tangent and put something in that didn't happen, pretty much. So it's just a little segue into, we're going to make up anything that we want and we're going to throw it at you, and you know, it's up to you whether you like it or not. It's going to be, like I say, mainly focused as a single player campaign. However, there is going to be a multiplayer. And the multiplayer is going to have 20 multiplayer maps at launch. 16 of those are going to be 6 versus 6. Now that doesn't sound great, does it? When you look at something like Battlefield 2042, which is aiming for 64 versus 64. So you're going to appreciate that the sizes of these maps are going to be fairly small. They're not going to be massive by any stretch. So 6v6, and then the other 4 maps are going to be 2v2s. So if you've got a group of people that you like to play with, yeah, that could be perfect. You know, 6v6 and 2v2, bit of fun, etc. But this is the one thing that put me off, especially Call of Duty 2. When they consolicized the Call of Duty, they made everything small because the consoles couldn't run the larger maps. Like I say, I went back to Call of Duty. So I played Allied Assault, Medal of Honor Allied Assault, then Call of Duty, and then the expansion United Offensive. They were on PC only. And then they brought out Call of Duty games for, I think it was the Xbox, the original Xbox around then. It just couldn't handle anything that United Offensive brought. So they really shrunk everything down, and they put that into Call of Duty 2. And I was like, these maps are like half the size, and it can annoy the crap out of me. So I kind of left Call of Duty behind. I played Advanced Warfare and Call of Duty 4 and stuff like that. I did enjoy them to a degree because they had good single players. Now, I do like the look of that single player. However, I'm not going to buy a game just for the single player. when half of the game is the multiplayer as well, and the multiplayer to me will just be absolute garbage. Spawn, die, spawn, die. Now, a couple of things, having said that, a couple of things that did crop up that I thought, ooh, that could be okay for a multiplayer game outside of Call of Duty. They've actually brought up basically a new feature in the search for the multiplayer, and it's called combat pacing. So depending upon your style of play, you can search for a specific kind of play style. So if you like the hectic, fast-paced stuff, you can basically look for something like Blitz. It's called Blitz. There's three things. There's tactical, standard, and Blitz. So tactical is you have less players and it's a slower gameplay. Your standard is your traditional 6v6, and then Blitz is more chaotic, fast gameplay. Now, I'm not entirely sure how this is going to work because the maps are only designed for a maximum of 6v6 anyway. So if your tactical is fewer players for slower gameplay, is it only going to be a 4v4 or 3v3? Some of the maps are only 2v2 anyway. And then traditional 6v6 is going to be a normal map, but then fast players, it says more players for chaotic fast gameplay. How are you going to do that if the maximum is only 6v6 anyway? And that's what you get for traditional. Who knows? Is there going to be maybe a speed buff to the players? But they do specifically say more players for faster chaotic gameplay. So I'm not entirely sure whether it's just they're going to up the amount from maybe a 6v6 to a 10v10 on the same size. I'm not entirely sure. It was very vague, but yeah, it's a game style. If you like that, then there's a search bit for it. The other thing, which is a good mix of some of the existing modes that are available, and it's called Champion Hill. Yeah, half a cottage Warzone and zombie. Yeah, there is a zombie mode with this, but I'm on about this specific release, Hark, not as the COD franchise as total. With obviously zombie mode and Warzone. Warzone didn't exist until like a couple of years ago. But Champion Hill, it does sound a good premise. And it's basically, imagine a battle royale plus their gunfight mode. Now, if you don't know what gunfight is as you kill people, your guns upgrade. So the more people you kill, you might start with a pistol, but then if you kill someone, you might go up to a machine gun. If you then kill somebody else, you might go up to a shotgun. If you go from a shotgun, you might get an LMG. If you then go from an LMG, if you kill somebody else, you might get a sniper rifle. That kind of thing. So you upgrade. But they've also put in progression as well. Yeah, gun game. But they've called this one Gunfight, apparently. But a bit different. But the other thing is it progresses over 4 maps. So you don't just play it as one, game and that's it. It's going to be a progression over the four maps. So it's going to be interesting, is that one. Again, I still don't think it's going to pull many people away from Warzone, although Warzone does have its issues, as we all know. There is a zombie mode, but I believe that's been sorted out by a different company as well. It's not Sledgehammer. Another development team are handling that. I don't know if it's Ravensoft or not. Also in the multiplayer, there's going to be solos, duos and trios options available. And like it did hint at the end of the trailer with the blueprint, it is going to be crossing over into Warzone. So there's going to be a change on the map. I don't know how it's going to look. They've regressed to the 80s, having obviously the latest update to the game. They're going to be going back to World War II. But when you think of so many things that are in Warzone, that going from Warzone to World War II, I don't know how they're going to take so many things out of it. I'm not entirely sure. That usually it goes the other way, where you start in the past and come forward in time, and then you bring in the newer guns, but then you're going backwards in time. So I don't know how they're going to do that. The game is due to launch 5th of November, so that's a couple of months yet, because obviously we're only in August. So yeah, a couple of months to that. If Call of Duty is your thing, like I say, I do like the look of the campaign. I do like a good campaign. I do like a good story to anything, but the multiplayer doesn't really appeal. Not for me, but I'm sure a lot of you people that do play Warzone, I've played it a handful of times, got my ass kicked. You always wonder if you're playing with cheats. Who knows? Like I said, there was a lot of stuff that I could have covered, but I didn't, and I've gone over the 2 hours already. So next COD after Vanguard, who knows? They might go back to World War One. I reckon they'll go modern, ultra modern. I think they'll zoom forward in time. They seem to do that as a kind of rotating barrel of timelines, a bit like Battlefield. You know, they went World War One, then they went, Battlefield 5, World War Two. Then they've jumped from modern day to slightly futuristic. So who knows? Who knows where they're going to go with that? COD, the Napoleonic War. Yeah, you're gonna have cavalry and pulling cannons around on the back of your horses, kind of thing. So yeah, right. I'm gonna stop jibber jabbering now because I've been talking for about 2 hours and I can just feel my throat starting to get a little bit on the sore side. COD wankered. Vanguard. But like I said, there was so much I could have thrown into there. I mean, normally I have maybe 5 or 6 topics and there's 9 there tonight. So I have skipped quite a lot. Gamescom is on at the moment. There's going to be a lot more information coming out, I'm sure. I don't expect anything to come from the Battlefield camp. I think they're going to wait and do their own thing. I really don't imagine there's going to be anything coming out of the EA with regards to that franchise. And obviously... beta tests inbound for that as well. So I'm going to play you out with another video. Do keep watching. Some of you might not want to watch. It's a bit of a scary one, but it's an upcoming game which you will have to be on the lookout for. But thanks very much for joining us as always. Like I said, we're going to keep these dates probably Thursday as the new day for the GeekCast. I hope you enjoy it. I hope it you like interacting, you like having thoughts provoked in your head about various contents. Hopefully we'll find some more hardware releasing so we can talk a bit more about that than just Twitch or gaming, but we'll see. Like I said, Gamescom, more stuff to come out from that. We'll find out more of that next week. So without further ado, I'm going to bid you adieu. I'm going to play you out with the new game. Have a look, watch till the end. TTFN for now.
Attention. All personnel report to the main CB block. This is not a drill. Hey man, get up. What the hell? You see this? Something ain't right. Please remain calm. There is nothing to fear.
This is Black Irons to transport ship Charon. You are cleared for landing.
Dick nuts!